This is the Ioniq 5N, and I think you've probably seen enough reviews already to know that this is amazing. It's fantastic, and I'll just say from the outset, this is the most fun electric vehicle I have ever driven, and I think between us we've driven every single EV that you can buy, bar a couple of the newer stuff. So what we're going to do in this particular video is have a lot of fun in it, of course, through the Yorkshire Dales. We're going on a bit of an extended road trip. We're also going to try and answer the question that not a lot of others have done. What's it like to live with? Because this is a car that you get as a track weapon. And if you don't believe me on that one, have a look at Misha going around the Nürburgring. It's insanely good. So it's a track weapon, but it's also a daily. What's it like to live with? Having something that's very fast around Brands Hatch is great, but when it needs to do the school run, the commute, all the usual daily activities, is it any good? Because at the end of the day, it is an Ioniq 5, so it should be, but there's bound to be some compromises. 640 brake horsepower. 640, just to put that into context, it's 10 more than a Lamborghini Huracan STO. I know they're different cars, but it's insanely fast. What's that like to live with? The wheels, big. Is it going to affect the comfort? So essentially we're going to concentrate on that, whilst also having a little bit of fun. A lot of fun. And hopefully not dying, because it's very fast. As always, we'll take a look around it, but we're going to skip some things in this because we've already reviewed the Ioniq 5. So in terms of what it's like as a car, as an EV, go watch that one. This is about the N specifically and the differences between the two. So visually, I mean, this is aggressive. I'm a massive hot hatch fan, and this is, well, it's beyond hot hatch, but I just love this grille. I love the aggressiveness, the slashes, the front that's flat but looks kind of retro cool. It just fits, and in black, oh, that's why I'm crouching down. But seriously, I think this looks amazing. But a lot of this is for a purpose. It's got battery cooling, motor cooling, so when you do take it around the track, it can keep it cool. It can keep going round lap after lap like other cars, like Teslas, can't. They get too hot and have to dial it in. So there's a lot of aero on this, but not fake aero, actual aero. Let's start with the wheels. I mean, they look great. This thing can stop a freight train because it needs to. It weighs 2.2 tons, which is a lot for a car, although not so much these days, but it matches the performance. The trouble with a lot of EVs is that you end up with a lot of straight line speed, but the rest of it doesn't catch up, like the MGX Power, for example. The 21-inch wheels, what's that like to live with? We'll tell you about that on the road, because 35 profile, probably going to be jarring. You've got this orange streak all around the car that leads up here, so that's a little bit of uniqueness here with the N logo there, and of course again the N signature colour. But other than that, it's essentially an Ioniq 5 from the side, although again I'm not a fan of the door handles, if I'm honest. They just don't feel sturdy enough. More aero, and again not just fake stuff that's filled in, it actually has a purpose, which again is great. I love things that are there for a reason rather than fake exhaust and that type of stuff. I mean, I could just stand here and look at it. Look at that diffuser. Again, talk about purpose, talk about aggressiveness. The only little thing is these. They are fake aero, so, you know, I don't mind it. It's about the only thing that isn't real. But you've got the cool lights that are carried over from the Ioniq 5, which, yeah, just changes it completely to every other car on the road. And I like something unique. And look at this, on an Ioniq 5, a rear wiper. You've also got an extended spoiler. I'm going to keep going. You've got the extended spoiler at the top compared to the standard model. And again, it's not there just to make it look cool or anything. It's there because this is a seriously fast vehicle. For me, it's going to, again, divide opinion, because not everybody likes aggressive cars in terms of looks or even wants a fast one. But when this is done just for a certain genre, that's when we know that EVs are finally arriving. We're getting cars designed for enthusiasts, not just the mass-produced SUVs, enthusiast cars. So we're getting there in EV world, it's just taking a bit of time. Right, well, if you've, again, seen the Ioniq 5 video, you will be very familiar with this interior. You've got the same screens, you've got the same interior, generally speaking, with a few additions dotted around, shall we say. But overall, it's a nice cabin, good build quality, but some of the materials are slightly on the cheap side for a 60-odd thousand pound car. More on that later. The steering wheel does feel nice. That gives you an extra 40 brake horsepower because 610 isn't enough. Sorry, 600 isn't enough. You get a little bit of cool graphics coming up here. Again, similar to the other one. But there are some end-specific stuff which I can show you because, let's face it, this thing is customizable. Very similar to Gran Turismo or a PlayStation, Xbox game. You can pretty much do anything you want. You've got motor, steering, suspension, LSD, hood, loads of other stuff, you know, end torque distribution. You can decide whether it's rear wheel drive, front wheel drive. There's loads of stuff, and lap timers as well. This button here, that effectively means you've got all the N mode stuff, like the battery temperatures, the motor temperatures, which actually matter on a track, because when an EV gets hot, it has to dial itself back, which happens with a lot of them, but not so much this. And this one here, that gives you some noise, which again we'll come to in a second, but it also gives you gears, which we've got to come back to that because it works. It's just brilliant. But if you want, you just turn it all off and, you know, whack it in eco mode or whatever you fancy, just like the previous Ioniq 5. And yes, so you got wireless charging, a couple of USBs. All again, we'll skirt through this very quickly. Oh, look at this! Wow! Now, sport seats.
Look at these.
They are nice.
They've got purpose and intent, haven't they?
Yeah. Now, the one thing I would say, I don't know if you would agree, but the EV6 GT seats I just slightly prefer over these. Remember that? They were beautiful.
Did they have the orange, the yellow?
Yeah. So, I mean, they're really nice, aren't they? They're very, very good.
Very
I
grippy,
like
aren't
this
they?
sort of stuff.
I like the fact it's not all leather.
Yeah.
Because it holds you a little bit better.
And the Alcantara, that smell, it's sports car to me.
Yeah.
So
I do like that.
Again, that's obviously unique to the N, which is absolutely needed because you're going to get thrown around.
You are going to get
on
thrown
a
around
track, especially. There's no point in getting to the back because we know what an Ioniq 5's like. It's lots of space, lots of storage.
You can take five people in the car completely free in the back.
So the practicality is unchanged in terms of a daily driver in this one. So that's the same as it was before, really. Is this a 60-odd grand interior though? You know, if you be blunt, let's be picky now.
Well, do you know what? It's because I know they've spent the money somewhere else.
You don't mind?
It don't. No. It's not a bad interior.
No.
I've seen better interiors at 60 grand.
Yeah.
I've seen worse. The fact is, it's like sometimes you buy a hot hatch and you get in some hot hatches, particularly the French ones of old, and it was very basic. But you knew the money had been spent on the engine, the brakes,
the handling.
and your handling.
Yeah.
And you sort of forgave it for that.
Yeah. I do like the fact though, Harry, that they've kept the same, like drive and reverse.
That's nice,
and I quite like the fact it's got a little button at the end that you can tickle.
Yeah.
It feels nice though. These all feel nice.
Well,
I mean, if I do that, it's pretty good. Yeah. This is going to be very difficult to explain, isn't it? The gears. So this comes with essentially gearing, not actual gears.
Pretend gears.
Yeah, so
but work like gears.
Yeah, so you got first, it's an 8-speed DSG box essentially, when you want it to in the car. So what you can do is press a couple of buttons. You can hear the engine note changing. So, but what is scary, so forget the noise, we'll come back to that. What is scarily accurate is that when you change down,
it jolts you.
Yeah, it's almost like the dial up a bit of regen.
And then when you change up, you get that thud.
Yeah, so it literally gives you the same experience as a petrol engine fast car.
It is undeniably really realistic, isn't it? You get that bit more connectivity with the car, don't you? A bit more involvement.
Interaction, you know what speed you're doing because of the noise.
One of my biggest criticisms of an EV is a lot of the time you don't know how fast you're going and they build speed so quickly.
Yeah, especially this one.
Oh, this is...
So the fact that you can just go in second...
There we go.
You know now, because of that engine note, of where the programmed
roughly what speed I'm going.
Yeah, and you will get used that quickly. Yeah. You can turn all this off. That's to be clear.
Oh, yeah. Well, here we go.
It's just an EV now.
Yeah.
But...
For when you want to drive it with a bit of enthusiasm, you've got that extra level, haven't you? There, I just love how it interacts with you as a driver.
I would absolutely have the gearing on anytime I'm having fun.
Oh yeah,
it is
without a doubt.
that good.
Yeah. That's one of them, isn't it? If you put somebody in this car who didn't know cars, they would presume it had a petrol engine.
Yeah, and I swear down, it's probably quite difficult to believe in it on camera, but it is so well programmed. It dials you into the speed that the car's doing because there's a limiter.
Yeah, that's it.
And that's the thing, isn't it? You can bounce off the limiter and it will not let you go any faster.
Well, what I'm going to do now is we're just about to go into a national speed limit, but I've got no cars in front or behind, so I'm just going to slow it down a little bit. There we go, in second, into first. So about 20 miles an hour. And we're going to
hit the limiter.
3, 2, 1, go.
How does it do that?
I don't know.
And you hit the limiter deliberately there.
Yeah.
You would literally it would just go. It's Gran Turismo.
It is.
On the best gaming setup you've ever had. It is, isn't it? It's because this is all software control.
Do you know, as a car enthusiast, I never thought I would have this connection with an EV.
The engine note will probably come across as a bit tacky on the video, but again, it's an information for me.
Yeah, it is.
It tells me what it's doing.
I think the engine note isn't there for me to be realistic.
No.
It's like you said, it's there as like a
bit of data.
Yeah, a bit of data. Yeah. Do you know what? I can't drive it at 100%.
Not even
the i20, I could drive at 100%.
Within most people's driving capabilities.
So I could drive that at 100%
included.
and be absolutely fine with that. With this, you can get your foot down a little bit sometimes, but you never really enjoy what the car has.
The EV6 GT, we said the exact same thing, it was too fast.
Yeah.
This is so much better than that in terms of
so much better.
feel, handling.
Just the confidence it gives you, which is kind of dangerous, isn't it?
Exactly, yes. It's motorsport performance.
This is, yeah.
But that's why I like it, because it can cope with other cars in its class and even muller some of them on a track.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's got everything that's designed, the temperature, the extra cooling for the motors and the battery.
It doesn't just look quick.
It is.
And it's not just like the thing is, you get a hot hatch, but then you get performance hot hatches, which are meant for
like a track version.
Yeah, track version. Like is it the R26R Megane?
Oh yeah.
And this just feels like it is that.
This would turn up to a car meet with all the petrol heads.
Yeah.
And I think people would go, I've seen the reviews.
I
will allow this into this meet.
That.
Yeah, I will respect it. Whereas if you turned up in a Model 3 Performance, as quick as it is, it's not.
It's not this.
It's not. No. Right. So, what's it like to live with? Let's begin there, where you are.
So we're going to zone out of the sporty side of it.
Yeah. Let's pretend that it's an Ioniq 5 that's got compromised. So first thing, the big wheels. I personally notice a little bit of difference,
but not a massive amount.
I don't think anyone would go, oh, have you got thin tyres on this, when they got in?
It's for tyre noise, because there's more contact on the road.
Really wide tyres, aren't they?
So you do have that.
Yeah, and you can adjust the suspension, 3 different settings.
Yeah.
And, well, shall we try one of the harshest settings?
Let's go for it.
See if we can tell the difference. Yeah, I can instantly feel the difference with that.
That's stiff, isn't it?
It's more jiggly. It's a sports suspension. So let's stick it in normal again. See if we can instantly tell.
It's a lot more compliant, isn't it?
So I would say the comfort hasn't no compromise there.
No.
Now there is going to be running costs compromise.
That's quite a big one, isn't it?
Tyres. Let's start with that.
They're going to be incredibly expensive.
Yeah.
Should we do some quicker look online?
Yes. Right. So the tyres this comes with are how much?
£340 fully fitted on Black Circles.
Per corner.
Yep. And these tyres only get 3 out of 5 on the reviews.
So how much from decent Michelins? Let's face it, it's going to be 280 quid for the tyre without fitting.
Yeah, wow.
Per corner.
Yeah. So
it's what, 1,300 quid for a new set?
At 12 to 1,300 quid depending on what you go for. And the thing is, you're probably going to go through them pretty quickly. Do you know what? It does have some supercar running costs.
Yeah, you could brag about how much you spend on tyres.
I bet the front discs aren't too cheap either, are they?
400 mil, I think. 4-pot.
Ooh.
I mean,
that's going to be.
Yeah, that's.
So you're going to have
4 figures.
I guess depending on how you drive it, you are going to have the extra. Sort of.
Yeah, would you use them much? I guess. Unless you
tracked
tracked
it. No.
Because it's again EV.
It should last longer.
Yeah.
But if you do drive it keen,
And it comes to one final thing, if you could get that data up, the efficiency of this thing, which is, quite frankly,
Poor.
what you'd expect from a performance
It's
vehicle.
poor for an electric car, isn't it?
Yeah.
Go.
Right, so a 35-mile journey did 3.3 miles per
That's
kilowatt
pretty
hour.
good.
Most of them are around 2 to 2.5,
And most of them are quite short journeys, aren't they?
apart from these two. So
Yeah.
53 miles, 2.9 miles per kilowatt hour. 111 miles, 2.4.
2.4. But, I mean, is this realistic? Because this is a press car, so I don't think most people have been driving this for economy, have they? so
No,
to
but this
speak?
isn't also winter either.
No, so it's going to get a lot worse in winter.
So we're looking at between 2 and 2.7 on average for this car.
I think if you have that in mind, and
Yeah.
anything you get extra is a bonus.
Yeah.
But we certainly know it's not with it. It is very limited by its range, given the size of the battery.
Well, this is 58% remaining, 117 miles.
Yeah, which, considering the size of the battery, is
84 kilowatt hour battery, which is what the Ioniqs can now come with. So this is a 220 mile range EV. Let's face it, as it's a press car, you're not allowed to drive it in eco mode.
I don't think it doesn't have eco mode.
Oh, well,
does
I'm pressing it, it's just not.
it? Sports and Sports Plus.
It's sport, yeah.
Where?
Yeah, I'm not doing that.
No,
I'm not doing it.
it just started spinning, didn't it?
Yep, before it even set off.
Yep.
That, for me, is the worst compromise of this car compared to the standard Ioniq, because the comfort isn't a bad thing. The efficiency, well, let's
I
face
can
it.
live with that. If
Yeah, you're not going to get an M5 and go, I'm going to get 15 miles a gallon. I don't know how much I would utilise the performance
all of
of
it.
this.
Yeah, it is quite frankly too much for the road.
For British roads, yes. On acceptable, suitable roads, you can have fun and you've got the power, but probably you wouldn't notice the difference between that and the quickest standard Ioniq 5. Because they're not 350 brake, it's still fast.
It's still fast, yeah.
Which is what the quickest 5 comes with. So I find myself thinking, is there any point in me buying this if I ever can get to that stage, unless I take it on a track?
Well, yeah.
Other than bragging rights.
I think that is, yeah, you've won the top trumps at the pub, haven't you, with this?
If this is in your field of vision, I don't think there's a compromise compared to the standard one for a family.
No,
as
no,
long
no.
as you're aware of the efficiency and you're careful, as in,
Very careful.
don't let this be overridden
No.
by, hang on a minute, straight road.
Straight,
Brum, 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 brum. Hey, watch this, lads.
And then it's
Hey, whoops, in a field. Can you see it?
What's up?
Oh, wow. Well, if there's ever a timely reminder, I'm looking at a Volkswagen Golf that has rolled down this hill. Well,
And that's not a fast car.
no. Let's use that. That's the problem when you're young, innit? You try and
Well, you
drive
don't think,
faster.
you think you're invincible.
Yeah, but when you're older, you think, well, I'm more cautious, I'm a more experienced driver.
Yep.
But this is so quick. It's unless I'm a practice racer, a driver, a professional, I am not going to be able to control this
Oh no.
if I even use 60% of its capabilities. Do you know what it is? It's like somebody, and I've had this a couple of times. Oh no, take my Lamborghini out.
Yeah.
Here's my Ferrari.
Yeah.
And I could never. I just didn't put my foot
You
to
can't
the floor.
enjoy it.
I couldn't enjoy it because I was too scared of doing something to it, or damaging it, or spinning it. Like you see, how many times on YouTube do you see?
Yeah,
usually in a Mustang.
Just come on, yeah.
Smash it. You've lost your car.
You have, yeah.
And that's kind of
Get
what I
a bit
think.
of that from this.
I do, yeah. And it's not a Ferrari or a
No,
Lamborghini.
it's a Hyundai.
If you're good enough, it's the best EV you can buy. And even if you're not good enough, as long as you're aware of your limitations,
Yeah.
it will be fantastic. And I look forward to 2 or 3 years from now when I have bought one because it's cheap on the used market and have completely overridden what I've just said in this video.
Yeah. Best car ever.
Absolutely. Look what they can do with electric. And we're at the beginning still.
Someone's made electric fun.
Genuinely fun as
Yeah.
well for the petrol head. And anyone in the comment section saying, no, you've not driven it.
No.
That's the key difference.
We'll just look at all the other reviews as well.
Oh yeah, look at every review. There's not a single negative anything I've seen on it. So there we have. That's the Ioniq 5N. And in terms of performance, there's only one thing better for me, and that's the membership.
Certainly is. Yeah, I liked how you shoehorned that in there.
99p per month.
Will you be member number 4?
So anyway, thanks for watching, guys. This has been an amazing experience of what a vehicle is capable of in EV world. That's the best thing to take away from this.
Yeah.
If you think EVs are always going to be boring,
Oh, this is the antidote, isn't it?
it's recalibrated what is possible, and we're only at the beginning.
Yeah.
So thanks for watching, guys. See you soon.
Cheers. Bye. Right, let's try not to kill ourselves.
I'll just get onto a road. It'd be nice.
I know.